Rhino, is this new, or is this since we have last seen Tanya?
This is actually in honor of a re-release for the 30th anniversary
Of?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is this a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
Yes.
That's what. So, Neely, welcome back to Good Things. It's Friday. We got Tanya back in the house. We've had a few Fridays off from her, but Neely's never seen it, but she did. She got into or I don't think she has, and she said, "Mama, is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?" And I was like, I didn't know we were debating this.
Yeah.
So, but is it?
I would say, I mean, it's, of course, kind of both, but I would lean more toward Christmas.
But
because it's almost like a retelling of The Grinch in a way, but I don't know, kind of the same theme.
But they just sort of mixed it in with the spookier.
Yeah. And the thing is, I was kind of late to the party on that one. I have a niece who is now in her early 30s who was obsessed with this movie when it came out. And it just wasn't my jam at that time. But then I watched it later. And I loved it. And Jack Skellington is like one of my favorite characters. I think you would like it.
I mean, I've only seen it in the cult kind of way, or culture sort of way. Like, I feel like you know who the character is, you kind of know what the story's about, but because all the hype around it. But I've just never taken the time to see it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What have you seen that's recent?
I know. I mean, this has been kind of a weird month. I mean, lots of course, scary things are being released because of the time of year, but it's been kind of slow. And I really don't think it has anything to do with the strike. I think it's always kind of that way this time of year, right before Thanksgiving. And then we'll kind of start that, movies that are probably going to be up for awards season. We'll start seeing those in a couple of weeks. Actually, next weekend, Priscilla's being released. Originally, it was going to be released today, and I don't know why it got pushed, but it's next weekend. I believe we'll probably, see some of the actors from that nominated, maybe the film itself, but...
And then she has given it the green light, right?
She has. So she is doing the exact same thing she did a year ago with Elvis, and now she's doing it with Priscilla. So, she's behind both of them. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out. But we do have a new horror genre, sort of. Five Nights at Freddy's starts today.
No.
And it's based on a video game, which I did not know that until my children told me. My older one is excited to go see it. I'm like you, I really have no interest. But it's basically about a guy who is kind of at his wit's end and is about to lose custody of his little sister. He's her guardian, and he needs a job to show that he's got a stable place for her to be. And he gets a job at this pizza place that has the animatronics, so kind of in the same vein as Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. And anybody that's in the building past midnight, these robots come to life and kill people,
What we all think happens at Chuck E. Cheese, to be honest. That's what we all think.
Yeah.
There's something creepy behind those characters, for sure.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese has been in more than one of my nightmares. But anyway, so that one's out today. It is PG-13.
What?
Yeah. So I feel like, the teenage boys are going to be flocking to see that one while the girls go see Taylor Swift for the 10th.
It's still going strong.
It is still going strong. It is still number one.
That's crazy.
I feel like it'll be number one again this weekend.
I mean, you went and did you get to go? Have you been yet?
I have not. I'm planning to see it this weekend.
That's another reason I picked that song.
Oh.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not playing Taylor Swift.
Oh, come on now.
Well, she's got her new redone Taylor's version of 1989 came out today.
Is it really? It's just the same song she's already done.
And so, are you not a Taylor Swift fan?
No.
No.
And it's so much fun. I'm not either, but I just like to throw it in his face.
Yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but I wouldn't consider myself not a fan.
I mean, I don't.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
I mean, you can appreciate her success, but she doesn't offend me.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
exactly. But yeah, so she's still going strong, and she's smart because she's only releasing her concert film on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that boosts those weekend numbers.
Mm-hmm. Was she? Oh, she's definitely a smart girl.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything? Have you gotten to see anything with all your traveling here lately?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. Well, I haven't been to the theater really, but I have seen, a few streamers. One of them is Pain Hustlers that actually started today on Netflix. And I meant to say that Five Nights at Freddy's, in addition to being the theaters, it's also streaming on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to get out. Yeah. But Pain Hustlers is on Netflix. And this is a really interesting movie. I don't think it's as good as it could have been. But it's Emily Blunt and Chris Evans, who we know as Captain America. But they are kind of on the ground floor of a pharmaceutical company who discovers this pain medicine that they are selling to cancer patients that, initially has great success, but, there's mishandling of it, the way it's prescribed and all that stuff. And you have, unfortunately, people become addicted. So this is kind of a look at the
industry side of it.
The opioid crisis. But it's not like... The characters they play in the movie aren't real people, but it's based on some things that have actually happened. But she's kind of she is a high school dropout. She can't keep a job. She's got a daughter with a medical problem. She needs money. And the next thing you know, she lands this job, selling these drugs. And she just kind of gets caught up in the money side of everything. And then at some point she realizes what's going on and how it's not being prescribed. Initially it was for stage 4 cancer patients, which made sense. But they were starting to prescribe them to, somebody that stubbed their toe, and it had gotten out of control. And she was seeing that, and she decided to go to the authorities. So she's kind of the whistleblower, and that's not spoiling anything. But it's really a interesting look, for, of course, a little dramatic interpretation there, but certainly a real problem.
For sure. How by chance, have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon? Have you taken snacks and gone to see that?
I have not. Because that really is like a 4-hour.
I was just wondering if you had heard. Friends have given it mixed reviews.
Yes, and I've heard the same thing, and I will see it. I just haven't had a chance yet. But I could not believe how long it is.
I think that's the main. And by the time, if it's not, I haven't been. I won't go. I don't have that kind of time. I have 2 kids. But I think if it doesn't really keep your interest, it's really hard to keep someone's interest for 4 hours.
Right. And this is one. It's getting some mixed, some critical feedback about the casting and some other things that happen in the movie. But to me, this one screams, Oscar bait. So I feel like we'll keep hearing about it.
I've heard the acting's fairly well. There was just maybe some dead spots, and you can't have dead spots in 4 hours.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And how to drag out a movie, drag out a story that long.
I know. Well, and I would think a lot of theaters don't really care for that because, that's less tickets they can sell.
What is the longest movie that's ever been... I see Rhino going to look.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe Gods and Generals or maybe Gone with the Wind. I think Gods and Generals, they actually had an intermission. They had an intermission in Gone with the Wind, which I think that was kind of common back then. Movies were longer. And
I cannot imagine giving something 5 hours of my day.
I know.
It's not at my home. I'll you'll binge Netflix for 12 hours and not think anything about it, but I'm not going to sit somewhere else and do it that way.
Apparently, the Guinness Book of World Records says that The Cure for Insomnia, directed by John Henry Timmis IV, which came out in 1987, lasts 85 hours.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
my word.
Well, that's just obnoxious.
Yeah, that's like a TV series.
Yeah, that they just did that on purpose to get that record. That's not like a real sort of movie. Is there anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, well, we've already talked a little bit about Priscilla. That's the one that I'm really excited about because I love anything related to Elvis. And then next weekend, we've also got What Happens Later, which is a new romantic comedy with Meg Ryan, the
welcome back.
Queen. So I'm really excited to see that.
Good deal. Well, we're excited to have you back and then back next week. So, yeah, well, welcome back, Miss Tanya.
Thank you.
All right, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.